and Misty would be like, "Oh God, Bella, help!"
You're a talking shark. But they do say that Bella has learned how to communicate with the other sharks. So we could have just had like a subtitle conversation between her and the other sharks. Would also have worked.
Amazing. I would love if the subtitles came up and they had like little bouncing sharks first to follow the like lines, like the Mickey Mouse head. I really like this movie. I know a lot of people say that the sort of tone's all over the place and that it's sort of like, is it a comedy? Is it meant to be a horror? I was genuinely tense in some places and I genuinely laughed out loud in some places. So I would say both.
Well, we're very happy to have you here then. You became our favourite guest. Because we've had people on who have liked the film. I think you're the first person to like it better than your memory of the first one.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, because the first one seems to have a lot of boring conversations between humans and I'm like, this is a shark movie. Like, you're either Jaws or you're a shark movie. Like, be a shark movie. And this clearly didn't have a budget, so it used its budget really well in delivering what I wanted. We only got a few shots of the sharks, but they covered it so cleverly without going down the sort of dirt route and instead doing the like bubbles under the water route. So great when they split them up. They were like the pressure and Aaron was like, here comes my line delivery, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow, and I was like, split them up, eat them now. So that was really fun, and it was very like Cube-esque with the like what is clearly the same set with a different lighting. And it was tense. It was really tense because it was like lots of bubbles and the sharks make this noise where they're like or whatever. Really fun. Really fun.
Yeah, that's some incredible Foley work.
And Misty and Trent had a nice moment. They had their first really kind of nice human moment where she's not staring at him, watching him weld, or yelling at him. I liked when they were talking about why they're still there. And then he just does the money thing and they're both like, yeah, I get it. Like, I like that. That was a good scene.
Funny. I didn't like that because I liked their conversation, but she's like, why are you here? And he goes, why are you here? And I was like, because I was dragged under false pretenses to this Greek mythology underwater lab with scientific bull sharks that I'm now going to get... You answer the question first. I was just like, don't ask me that, Trent. Like, Misty and Trent, they should surely be out catching Pokemon with those kind of names.
But they offered her money, though, to come out and to pay for her funding because she needs money for her.
That's true.
I mean, she didn't ask many questions. She's like, why do you need me? Well, here's money. And, well, fair enough.
And she seemed to be doing pretty well with her. So it was probably morbid curiosity that brought her out there, but she doesn't want to admit it.
And she did ask questions as soon as she arrived. She was asking Durant, like, why was she there? What was he doing? Mm-hmm. Why is he insane? And like, she came for the money. But she was always intrigued. I was like wondering what she was doing there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a nice human moment between them.
Yeah.
I liked it. Like because prior in the film you got like I don't know, some of the human moments like between the Kims when they're in the kitchen, like it just doesn't play. Like this one actually played for me. I kind of liked the mutual understanding in this. So they're both like, yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. It's cash. That's why we're here.
Do you think everyone struggled closing a door behind them? Like we have the two most physically fit people in the same corridor trying to shut the same door. I don't see like little Daniel Kim closing a door on his own.
He's wiry.
I mean, but it's a struggle for Trent and Mr.
Leslie's the strong one anyway. Leslie is the one who pulls him together, so Leslie gets him going. Like she motivates him. I think she and Leslie are a good team. And also, she pulls him back from being all stressed, and then Durant's like, hey, knock it off. But they had just knocked it off.
If you're wondering who the villain of the film is.
Yeah. Like, she had just calmed him down. He's like, all right, you two, enough.
It's because he picks up a little oxygen tank, so oh, this could be useful, and he throws it down, and it makes a noise. And like, Durant's thinking.
Yeah, it's
his
like
super brain powers are wearing off.
Yeah. They're like bustling around trying to get into stuff. They're like tense and stressy, and he's like, "Knock it off! Got to do my villain thing."
The person in the crew they know the most has just died. Like they've spent a lot of time with Craig. There's a whole boat ride out here, all 20 minutes of it that we see, and there's like he would have recruited them, so they knew Craig. They would have had conversations with Craig, and they just seen him dead.
He has the least amount of like.
Fashion sense?
Reason to die?
Yellow ties.
Yeah, he deserved to die because of the ties.
Because like it's implied, it's said out loud that the Kims like, gave a lot of their research. Like, there's literally a line where Carl is like, you two are gonna die because you are responsible for a lot of this. Like, your research, like, was the majority of the foundation of what we're doing here. And they're like, oh, amazing, yeah, that's our death wish. Whereas Craig didn't really have that, unless he was, because he was the one that was like, I don't know how I feel about this project, or whatever. And so you're a bit like, well, surely you should survive, because you're a bit confused. But then you're just there to be the first death, I guess, which is a shame. But everyone else was, like, punished for being heavily involved, if that makes sense. Because you got to give them a reason to die, otherwise it's just not fair.
I do love when they're, like, talking about how the sharks dug holes through the fences and they could escape and they're so smart. And Carl Durant is like, well, that means I was really successful. Yeah, this is pretty great.
He's so happy.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to look at it, too. Like, your sharks can read lips, understand English, communicate, rip holes through fences, have coordinated attacks. They can maybe trick us into dropping you into the water to help with labor, yada, yada, yada. And Durant's like, this is awesome. Like, this is,
yeah, I really love that about him. And he never changed. He was never remorseful, not once. Like, even to the bitter end, which was, I literally said out loud, I, like, took a step back and I was like, bravo. Like, I wanted that so bad, and you just, again, exceeded my expectations. Like, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, that was cool. That made me happy.
So happy. And, like, his little god complex is such a brilliant driving force without the movie, because he just does not let it drop. He's just such a little psychopath. And I love that allows Misty, who could have been more active. Like, I would like Trent to have also been cast as a woman if we're really being picky, but I loved her, and I love that she was just constantly like, you're insane, you're insane, you're insane. Like, none of this understated Sam Neill stuff where she's like, you bred raptors. She's like, you did what? I specifically said at the beginning of this movie!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's adamant from the beginning.
Yes. Carl comes into her lecture when she says, I wouldn't swim bull sharks. He has a little smile.
Yeah,
I feel like that little smile is, you're going to die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. I'm deserve to die because I'm smiling because you got to swim with bull sharks. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. I love that. I do love it when it's like, what's the most dangerous... What's going to be the villain of this movie, lady? And she's like, bull sharks. And I think, again, I said out loud, like, looking forward to meeting some bull sharks. Like,
well, even in this chapter, at the start of this chapter, Carl Durant says there's no benefit to losing our heads. What happens 3 minutes later to Mike?
Love it. Love it so much. I'm not getting in the pool with those sharks again. No.
Whoa.
Aaron's great.
Let's not lose our heads. I didn't even... Oh. Well, that's fun.
This is the seventh time I've watched this film.
And I gotta say, I am happy that they got rid of the very stationary Bella. It's nice to kind of get Bella out of there.
Yeah, the
petrified Bella. Who we learned as they reused in Deep Blue Sea 3.
Yeah, she's in Deep Blue Sea 3. They bring her back.
Good for her.
Not for long.
And they didn't have to make another one of those things. They saved money.
Hey.
They don't use it for very long. But
I would love to be the production designer, just walking around the Cape Town studios and just finding it, like, mothballed. I'm like, yes, I just saved, like, 40 grand. Yeah.
She's
I like
great.
Bella. I feel... Oh, well, okay. Oh, so you love Bella.
Yeah, I think she's justified as an antagonist. I think she's...
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Be careful watching Deep Blue Sea 3 when you watch it. And I just know that.
Yeah,
She not last long.
I don't know, maybe. Maybe she starts a band and teams up with Misty and they travel around the country performing.
Yes! That's all I want. I'll go watch Deep Blue Sea 3 now.
Okay, you'll be thrilled.
How amazing would that be?
It'd be incredible. Especially in this day and age, you really have to go in with a love for the type of movie that you're making. And I feel this is what this movie did. It really knew what it was doing. I really love, I've got a note here, there's that line where Aaron's like, I'm not getting in the pool again, and he really, like, goes off on one. And then immediately after, Leslie's like, yeah, no, Daniel and I are not comfortable with that either. It's
Yes.
like, oh, you're not comfortable getting in the pool with the killer shark. So funny.
She stepped up.
She does, yeah. She becomes really southern in that line. Like, everything else she said has just been like a fairly generic American accent, but that one it's like Daniel and I are not comfortable with that either. It's just really, it's really southern for that one line.
And I want to hear you do the rest of the episode in that accent, Jay.
I will not.
As long as it's not Benedict Cumberbatch, his accent in the Mauritanian is his South Carolina accent. He's a really good actor, but
his American accents don't always work out well.
Yeah.
Like the first Doctor Strange, he makes some choices.
As much as I like that guy from Fallen Kingdom, what's his name? Man, he has the most meaty sounding American accent ever.
Rafe Spall.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Rafe Spall.
Oh, he's great.
He's great as an Englishman.
Yeah, the Ritual's a really good monster movie that a lot of people haven't watched.
I went to the cinema to see that.
Oh, nice. It's a good picture. I like it.
Yeah, it was really fun. I didn't watch it properly and freaked myself out at one moment because I like over scared. I was like looking through my fingers and I was like, oh God, there's like a naked woman up against the tree. What is she doing there? Oh God, they're going to die. And my friend was like, what are you talking about? Watch the movie properly. It's just the woods. And I'm like, ever since the Blair Witch Project, I can't look at woods. I love me a folk horror movie, but I just see things in the trees. She's like, that's kind of the point, but you got to watch it because you're just making things up that are scarier than actually what's on screen. Look, it's the elephant with stilt legs that the painter did. You know, one.
We watch movies the same way. My wife is always like, Mark, come on. And I have my fingers over my hand, over my leg, blocking my eyes.
And you see stuff that's scarier. And then they brought the older Salvador Dali elephants out at the end, and I was like, oh, this is fine. This is fine.
Ooh, I love Salvador Dali.
Scary one. You know his painting with the elephants, and they have like really long legs.
Yeah, they're like really long, like thin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on like a red background.
Near where I grew up, they have the Dali Museum. It's beautiful right now. So if you ever find yourselves in St. Petersburg, Florida, go to the Dali Museum. It's really, really nice. Yeah, it's like wonderful exhibit. I love going there and just checking stuff out.
I love them. But yeah, the monster from The Ritual is the Dali elephants. So that's all we could see when we were watching it. We were like, hey, what's up, Dali elephant? Hope you get your sacrifice soon.
And another thing about this movie is, like, the budget was low, right? They had to recycle a lot of sets, and I guess John Pogue, he worked at the same place. He didn't know that they had to recycle the water for this shoot.
Oh wow!
So, like, that's another hindrance they had there. So I wonder how that affected Deep Blue Sea 3. Yeah, because they pulled from a reservoir, and it was during a drought time, so they had to constantly recycle the water for the shoot.
Oh God. Good. Like, I'm always really impressed with actors that are having to act in, like, waist-deep water because I'm like, that must be exhausting. And I thought the acting here was really fine. Like, it was exactly what was needed for the movie. Some really great moments, some really bad moments, and they all worked really well. But when you're doing it in water, like, that must be so demanding. I really love that it was low budget. I've said, like, a million times before, like, you can see it, and you can see that they're being really inventive with how they're trying to spread the money across, and it just makes it so much more fun because you're like, someone did this because they wanted to do it, not because a studio did it and they were trying to make money or whatever. Like, someone was like, I need to make me a Deep Blue Sea 2, and it needs to be exactly what you expect Deep Blue Sea 2 to be.
You're going to really like Deep Blue Sea 3 then, because they have about the same kind of small budget, but they make better use of it. I think it looks like a more expensive film than it is.
Oh yeah, it looks like a 20 millioner for sure.
And Deep Blue Sea 3 is a very efficiently made film.
The only thing I know about it, this is the thing, I love how efficient this movie is, and I say the first one looks very boring with lots of very boring conversations between adults.
I feel attacked.
May or may not
I can't
shag.
deal with you with criticizing the first Deep Blue Sea as
it
much
moves
as you
so quick, the first one. There's so much shark mayhem in it. I recently did a thing where I timed the amount of sharks in it, and it's more so than most of the other shark movies.
There's but this is the thing, I'm used to my really low budget Shark in Venice, Ghost Shark, Two-Headed Shark Attack.
Wait, Shark in Venice?
Hell yeah.
I can't talk. I'm bleeding.
This is exactly what, like, Emily and I were on a podcast recently where she said at the end that she really liked terrible shark movies, and then she reeled off a bunch. And I was like, you have to come on Deep Blue Sea because Mark is going to fall in love with you.
I can't talk. I can't talk. I'm bleeding. That's the best line from Shark